Alright people, so we got a new opening and a new ending for Naruto Shippuden. I want to talk about that. So I'm going to start off with the new opening. Opening 14, Signs of the Moon. It just really saddens me that we have to let the last opening go and we go into this opening and it just really didn't deliver anything that was like refreshing or on the same level as the last one. When the last one came on, I honestly just, it got me hyped for whatever Naruto episode was coming up. When it was, you know, just, Kimi ga, like I would be freaking going hype every time. But then we come into this opening and it feels very chill, and the visuals isn't anything like particularly new that is like, oh man, I really love the visuals or something like that, up until I guess the ending scene. Biju mode Naruto looked pretty awesome, but aside from that, it was just like we already seen the Kage versus Madara, and it was done very hype in the last one when, you know, they're fighting, you see the Mizukage. But with this one, it seems too chill for an opening to get you really like all that excited, and the song, I didn't really care for it either. So unfortunately, with this new opening, it really doesn't outdo the last one. Like the last one, at first I wasn't too fond of the song. I thought the visuals was pretty awesome, but then it really grew on me, and it was just like, oh my god, it's so crazy. But with this one, I don't know if it could really grow on me like Totsugeki Rock. I remember that one really couldn't grow on me either, so hopefully it does, but for right now, I just really didn't care for the opening. But the ending 27, Black Knight Town. Now this ending, actually, I felt they were very creative with what they did. It would be like, you see a panning of like a city or something, and the credits and the panning of the city, and then it was like the song, the way it was just done, I felt it was very creative. They didn't really care for the kind of flamboyant looking Sasuke, but overall the song was very creative, and I felt the visuals really reflected the song. So like when the song was kind of chill, it would be like the city is panning, and then as soon as it would get hype, you see like Naruto and Sasuke clashing, and then it ends in their Shippuden form. So I definitely say that the ending was very creative, and I really like it. It's so much better than yeah, that shit was getting on my fucking nerves. But overall, I don't feel as though this is a particular case where like the ending should be the opening, because the ending, it fits for what it is, since it is like an outro, you know, credits and whatnot, and it isn't as hype again as what an opening should be. I guess I'm just mostly saddened by losing the last opening that we just had, because the last opening was just so perfect. It would just really grab you, and the opening and ending that we just got, neither of them. I mean, the ending is better than the last ending, because I just absolutely couldn't stand the last ending, but this ending just really, and the opening wasn't as good as like that opening that we just had. I'm just so hype off that opening that it saddens me that we have to move on from it. Now this episode, one thing I gotta say is that for all the people that constantly bash Tsunade, she sucks, she's a piece of shit, she can go fuck herself, show that bitch some respect, alright? Like seriously, in this episode, not only does she freaking go toe-to-toe with Madara, not giving a fuck, she gets fucking pierced through the chest, rips it out, and then starts beating Madara with the fucking piece from the Susanoo. And yet people are still gonna say she's trash, she's garbage. I mean, seriously, come on. Now, I'm not saying you gotta worship her, I'm not saying she's the greatest of all time, she's a great, no, but I'm saying like, yo, for a female, she got some balls to be doing and saying what she's saying, and it's like, nobody's going to show her respect. Everybody's going to keep talking down on her, when this episode clearly displays that the character is pretty awesome. I don't see the Mizukage making declarations like that and walking up to Madara by herself. So definitely one of the things about this episode that I liked is that it showcased Tsunade in a different light. It showcased her not giving a fuck about what anybody says and going up to Madara, going toe-to-toe, getting pierced is like, holy shit, you know, a shocking moment, and then still ripping the fucking piece out of her. That was some manly shit, some boss shit, and I respect it. But that's not to slight Madara neither, because Madara was on some bullshit as well in this episode, and it just feels like a game, pretty much like what Madara was saying. It feels like a game, because Tsunade walks up on some bullshit, Madara tricks her, then she tricks him, and it's like going back and forth, and like, Madara, that he knows how to talk some shit. When he's like unfair, and then he makes like clones of himself and everything, he's like, now it's 5-on-1. Like you could totally tell he has an ego and a half. His ego is bigger than anybody's I've seen in the entire series. Like he just doesn't give a fuck. Like nobody aside from Hashirama can step foot to him, his Hashirama-kun. So as far as the fight goes, we didn't get too much progress as far as like, you know, Madara's not down, or neither of the Kages, but I definitely say that it pushed forward, like it's making the fight more impactful and more bigger and grander. Now, you know, there's clones of Madara everywhere. Tsunade is going full force with her powers. So it's like everybody is going in. And also want to know, out of all the Kage on the field, who's doing the most right now? Tsunade. Case closed. You don't see the Rai Kage. You don't see the Tsuchikage. You don't see the Kazekage. You don't see the Mizukage. You don't see none of them doing what Tsunade did. And I'm not on no fanboy shit, because I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not that big of a fan of Tsunade. I like the character, but I'm not a fanboy of her in any way. But give credit where it's due, and this episode just definitely hyped up Tsunade, and I really appreciate the character on this level. This is the stuff she needed to do in the pain arc. We also got slight progression as well. Sasuke and Itachi finally met up with Kabuto, and they had a long speech. I felt as though the talking was a bit too much in a way, because it's kind of like, we're ready to battle, but we're gonna talk first. So that was a small gripe I had, but it did give us some good information as well, and just kind of seeing where everybody stands as far as who's on whose side and whatnot. And it was interesting the way they kind of did a twist of it, because in the manga, it was kind of like Itachi showed up first, they had a conversation, then eventually Sasuke shows up and is like, whoa, a cliffhanger or whatnot. But with this one, it's just kind of like he shows up in the middle of them talking. He's like, I finally caught up to you. So they changed things up slightly. I guess it makes more sense since it wasn't going to be like a cliffhanger of an episode, which the manga was doing like a cliffhanger. So in that aspect, it was alright. And I guess it's set up for the fight. So we didn't really get into the fight, but we did slightly progress into like getting ready for the fight. I'm expecting some massacre from two powerful ass Uchiha on Mr. Nerdy Snake Boy. And overall, I felt like it was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it. I felt as though it did slightly progress certain things. The fight with the Kage versus Madara, it got more intense. They showed up now, Sasuke and Itachi, they're getting ready to fight Kabuto. So it slightly progressed things, wasn't too much progression. And the animation, at times, it fluctuated, because there was times where it actually looked really good. Like when Tsunade was going up against Madara, it was really nicely done. But then when you look at Sasuke and Itachi, Sasuke's face at times just looked really off when he was like going back and forth looking at them. So animation, it was alright. I guess it balances out when you look at it, like, had some really good stuff, then like meh stuff. And overall, I just felt like it was a pretty good episode. I'm going to give this one 7.5 out of 10. It didn't do too much progression and whatnot, but I felt as though it was handled nicely, and it did progress Tsunade, I felt, as a character, and show that she can be badass if she really wants to. Also, quick note, why the fuck does Dan know so much about Madara Uchiha? Let me know what you think, first of all. The new opening, new ending, do you like them? Do you hate them? Are they better than their predecessors? Also, Tsunade, did she gain your respect after this episode? I'm not going to lie, she got some respect from me. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to see this battle with Sasuke and Itachi versus Kabuto kick off, as well as the continuation of the Kage versus Madara, because both of these battles are looking very promising right now. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.